Off to Jonathan Taylor. Huge hole. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 10, 5, touchdown. Jonathan Taylor made a man miss the line of scrimmage and then runs it into Pater and a one-handed INT. Are you kidding me? Kenny Moore.
What a play by Nyheim Hines.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Bring the Juice Colts podcast. So just wanted to recap day 10 of training camp for all of you. We're pretty much halfway through training camp at this point in the stage of everything else. So everybody's been talking about the Darius Leonard contract and, what him getting signed. So great news for him there. Hopefully we'll see him back this next week for training camp and all intents and purposes. So about a month, almost a month now until the season starts. About a month and 4 days. So, pretty close. So we're going to find out, some things as time goes along. But so a couple things that happened today for the team. Offense looked decent today. Nothing too crazy, though. Jacob Eason going 12 of 18 with an interception to TJ Carey. So, things like that. There are no touchdown passes or anything. Unfortunately, though, when it came to pass protection, again, defensive line, primarily did pretty good today as well. I don't know if I really addressed. I think we have. I think Cody actually did just address a video on, how this is more. Is it more of the offense that's to blame for what the defense is doing right now to them, or whether or not the defensive line really is doing that kind of stuff to them? Primarily the left tackle position. So make sure to go check out that video. So far hasn't looked very great though. But nonetheless, Eason did finish the 11 on 11 drills on a high note, did finish with a very efficient 4-4 drive. And, the completed passes for a bunch of these, Doyle had 3, Pascal had 2, Hines and Taylor both had 2, Paris Campbell, Pittman, and Marlon Mack also all caught one. So was doing pretty well with avoiding pressure today. So feels like he was getting more equipped in the pocket. Sam Ehlinger also had a very good day as well. 12 of 15 with a late pick. But pretty much, was mostly checkdowns. But then had a big throw to Desmond Patman for a 45-yard gain. That was a really big one in the end. But again, the lack of arm strength and everything else that's going on with Ehlinger, I know we've been talking a lot about, Ehlinger challenging Eason for the spot, for the quarterback 1 spot until Carson Wentz gets back, if indeed Wentz has to miss some time. I understand where people are coming from, that he's been very efficient. That's a great thing. That's great to see that Sam Ehlinger is being efficient and making some plays. But, the arm strength is a question mark. We said the whole time about Phillip Rivers, things like that. I don't know why you would want to put yourself through that again. And then on top of it, hasn't really been playing against the number 1. So things could definitely change there. But nevertheless, things like that went down. Quiet start for T.Y. Hilton this week. No major things have happened for him as of recently, so we'll have to keep that. We'll have to keep that open. But you pull up some of these here. Rookie safety Sean Davis was practicing today. It's great news to hear. And Julian Blackmon, DeForest Buckner both didn't practice today, but Julian Blackmon was actively on the field, encouraging his teammates. He was even behind the defense, barking orders, had a play sheet and everything, mentally getting reps and things like that. So he was involved as he could be without having to actually be on the field. Coach Reich said that there's a possibility that Barkner could be back out there on Tuesday. The Colts have a day off on Monday, and he will most likely be out there Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's good. No issues with that foot there whatsoever. So again, being cautious. Okereke had a pass blocked as well. So that's really good. A pair of nice rushes for Kwity Paye today. It was actually against Will Holden. One of those potentially would have been a sack. So, yeah, we talked about the Eason overthrow that landed in TJ Carey's lap. Teray and Speed combined on a sack on the next play. So, good to see EJ Speed getting some. Isaac Rochelle even had a sack on Eason on a scramble. Nice play by Zaire Franklin there as well, who was in coverage on that. Strip sack for Al-Quadin Muhammad. Knocked the ball out of Ehlinger's hands as he reached back to throw. So another great thing there. Apparently, a little dust-up today between Mark Lewinsky and Andrew Brown, who we also brought in as well this offseason. Apparently, Mark Lewinsky has just been phenomenal in the pass rush drills, the one-on-one pass rush drills. Mark Lewinsky apparently has been doing amazing so far this year, and I'm glad to see that. You know, I'm glad to see him doing very well with that in training camp. You know, that was always the one thing we always said about him. You know, he was a really good run blocker, but we sometimes questioned his ability to be in the pass rush and being able to block for the all intents and purposes. So it's good to see, you know, him getting a couple of good plays there and being able to handle that. So that's great to see. And of course, you know, Kwity Paye was being tended to at the end of practice. They're addressing his foot, of course. But apparently he's been addressed like that each of the last two practices. So they don't seem to think this was much of an issue, but we'll have to keep that in mind. But nevertheless, you know, things should be fine. Not sure if Rock was out there today or not, but and then just more talk about Darius Leonard and his contract. Really not a whole lot else to discuss from these related topics. Again, Eason, Ehlinger having themselves efficient days once again. Defensive line, again, creating a lot of pressures as normal. And, you know, a couple different guys not out there today, but there really wasn't a whole lot more to discuss on that front. Sorry for guys for not having a whole lot more today. You know, Cody and I were both kind of out of our places today, so we really weren't able to keep track of everything that was going on. But no new injury news to update you all on, so I guess that's a good thing on that home front. No issues really in regards to a lot of other things, but we'll keep it in touch. This next week could mean something completely different. We'll see if things changes. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought of training camp and everything else. Let us know what you thought of the Darius Leonard extension as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.